able to design. In sub-Saharan Africa, 50 to 70% of total labor time is dedicated to weeding. And of that time, when weeding is delayed, labor increases by up to 600%. Weeding has been predominantly a feminine activity. 90% of weeding is done by women, and 75 to 80% of these farms are weeded by hand. The scarcity of labor and the concurrent rise in the cost of weeding make timely removal of weeds extremely difficult. Why? In addition to farming, women have prime responsibility for maintaining the household. Delegation of time between farming tasks and household activities prevent women farmers to devote time for weeding. At the peak of weeding season, 69% of children ages 5 through 14 leave school and abandon education to help their family with weeding. I would now like to introduce the 3 pillars of timeless: gender equality, decent work and economic growth, and educational opportunity. And within our presentation, these 3 core values will be addressed. Our business model can be summarized into 4 large steps. Our first step is initial financing. We will clearly outline the opportunities we see in sub-Saharan Africa and provide evidence as to why investors, governments, and micro-donors should become a benefactor of our cause. Our second step involves explaining how we work as a company and the change we will bring into the community. Our third step takes a close inspection of our latest technological invention, the tri-home. Our fourth and last step explains the future, long-term visions of Timeless, which emphasizes educational opportunities. First and foremost, initial financing. The reason as to why you should invest in Timeless. We will accept small donations from the public through constant marketing strategies such as website, SNS, YouTube, which we will later address in our presentation. Once we generate profit and prove to be autonomous, we will pay back our investors. Although we understand that government funding is extremely difficult, we will attempt to persuade governments in sub-Saharan Africa to initially fund our project and that targets their nation by stressing the substantial economic growth that will surely follow. So why sub-Saharan Africa? Weeds are a huge threat to food security in sub-Saharan Africa. They compete with crops for nutrients, space, light, and water, and can reduce yields significantly. The table below details several sub-Saharan African crops and the yield loss they experience due to weeding. For instance, it is estimated that hand weeding 1 hectare of sorghum, a staple crop in the sub-Saharan Africa, can take up to 324 hours of labor. Our first project will take place in Zimbabwe. Maize and cotton fields in Zimbabwe face a reduction in crop yield up to 75%. The severity of the weeding problem gives Timeless the maximum chance of government funding. This will be our trial project to prove to investors and government that Timeless is profitable and that their investment is worthwhile. And in the following years, we will further expand in other sub-Saharan African nations. I would now like to introduce them. Our second project will be in Nigeria. Hand weeding in maize farms results in a 42 yield loss there. Our next project will be in the country of Malawi. Over 50% of Malawi crops experience delayed weeding. After our first trial proves to be successful, the following projects will be run simultaneously. We estimate that by year 5, Timeless will be able to implement its business up to 10 of the 46 sub-Saharan countries. Now on sustaining Timeless. We will spread awareness and constantly attract micro-donors by utilizing our official website that we designed and is here on our link. Our website also has a built-in donating system that allows for easy micro-donations. I would now like to go over our key competitor, CropLife. CropLife specializes in crop production and plant biotechnology. CropLife in Africa, Middle East trains smallholder farmers on the safe use of herbicides. They also try to implement modern biotechnology, namely GMO, that allows plant breeders to select genes that produce beneficial traits. Unfortunately, CropLife has severe limitations. Herbicides create environmental pollution and develop herbicide-resistant forms. GMO may transfer genetic material into natural, unmodified plants. For example, the transfer of a trait to a weed can lead to herbicide-resistant weeds. Overproduction due to transgenic crops may result in market instability and mass unemployment. Currently, the contract between male landowners and female smallholder farmers represent an extremely unequal relationship. Female farmers are dependent on male landowners for employment and money. Female farmers are not able to get proper pay, and due to their slow weeding time, landowners encounter a significant reduction in yield. As a result of delayed weeding, a considerable portion of the field is abandoned. Statistics prove that land use for crop cultivation is reduced by 50% because the farmer's assessment of insufficient labor power will be available to weed. Timeless will hire female farmers once the current contract is broken. We view it as a step towards economic independence and equality between genders, where we are able to give proper pay to female workers. As it is currently, female smallholder farmers in Zimbabwe earn an average of $2 per day. The average Zimbabwe income is $10 per day. That is less than 20%. Subsequently, Timeless will construct a new contract with the landowners, and Timeless will then send female farmers to farms after the contract is done. In doing so, female farmers will also be able to weed more efficiently through the utilization of our latest technology. Timeless not only benefits female farmers, but landowners as well. Timeless helps landowners employ laborers easily. Making weed control efficient allows landowners to utilize 50% of the land that is currently abandoned due to delayed weeding. This will surely lead to an increase in total yield.
Thank you, Brian. Moving on to our product, we designed a totally new weed extracting tool called the Tri-Homie. The Tri-Homie was derived from the Korean traditional farming tool Homie. The Tri-Homie name comes from its tricycle structure and the use of remodeled Homie to weed. While conventional Homies are flat and are mostly suitable for hand weeding, the parts attached to the Tri-Homie were specifically remodeled to reduce resistance and increase productivity. This is a rough model of how the remodeled Homie will look like. As seen, because it has a pyramidal shape, there will be significantly less resistance, which will tremendously reduce the effort needed to put in. Also, the redesigned Homie will have a light overall structure but a strong tip at the end to break through the shell of the fields as shown on this rough sketch. This will not only be cost efficient, but make the overall machine light and more functional while getting the same job done as a heavy Homie head. Generally speaking, instead of the tedious hand weeding methods women farmers currently use that make up the majority of their labor time and require very hardcore work, Timeless will provide a revolutionary weeding technology. This is a rough sketch with proper measurements of our invention, the Tri-Homie. It is a 3-wheeled weeding machine operated manually by pedaling, in which remodeled Homie parts will be attached in the back as seen on the diagram on the left side. The function of the Tri-Homie is to destroy the roots of the weeds as it rolls forwards and completely prevent weeds to grow and compete with the crops. The whole Tri-Homie machine itself is 110 centimeters by width and 150 centimeters by length. The machine size was specifically designed to be suitable for African farms which have the typical lane gap of 1 meter. The tire of this Tri-Homie structure is about 15 centimeters thick and has a radius of 20 centimeters. This tire was also designed to be suitable for the land conditions in sub-Saharan Africa, enabling the Tri-Homie to balance and run well. Overall, the ratio of the measurements of our Tri-Homie structure was thoughtfully designed to be suitable for sub-Saharan African agricultural circumstances as a whole. On the right-hand side, you can also see the 3-dimensional rough sketch of our Tri-Homie. Now, let's take a look at how the Tri-Homie is built and what it is made out of more specifically. The structure and remodeled Homie parts are made of aluminum to reduce weight, and cost. By making the machine extremely light and affordable, we enable the Tri-Homie to run with minimum power. However, the most important tip of the remodeled Homie parts that will be responsible for breaking through the shell of fields will be made of iron. Except for the structures and remodeled Homie parts, all components of the Tri-Homie will be made from recycled materials. For example, tires and seats will be taken from cars no longer in use, and the handles will be taken from bicycles no longer in use. Once again, Timeless focuses on environmental sustainability and aims to cause minimal harm to the environment. We have researched the exact market cost of materials needed such as aluminum skeleton, tires, seats, and Homie parts. And with the addition of manufacturing costs, taxes, and delivery fees, the total cost will amount to approximately $95 per Tri-Homie machine. Moving on to our education pillar, we will initially educate female smallholder farmers on how to use a Tri-Homie and provide them with basic and general knowledge on weeding, crops, farming techniques, etc. Thank you for listening.